Look at this setup, a little bit different to what we're used to, isn't it? As you would have guessed from the title of this video, this is my third trimester update. I thought I'd do just a one-off video as opposed to doing weekly catch-ups, because as I mentioned in my second trimester video, I haven't had a very eventful pregnancy, which is great. It's been fairly easy going, I would say. Nothing too strenuous has happened, which is good, which I'm happy about. So I thought I'd just do a quick sit down. I've written some notes because I've had to film this video a couple of times before and I just ramble and ramble and ramble. So I thought I'd write some notes, just a couple of things that have happened, updates, hardest things, the best things that have happened, and yeah, so let's go. So let me start with the five worst things that have happened. I say worst, hardest things I've had to deal with. The hardest things I've had to deal with in the third trimester. The number one hardest thing has been heartburn. It has been awful. Heartburn happens because as the baby grows, all of your organs are sort of pushed up a bit, and so obviously whatever the tube is that connects from your mouth to your stomach, esophagus, is that what it is? I don't know the science behind it, but basically because everything's a bit more squashed, acid reflux happens more in pregnancy and late pregnancy, and it will go away once the baby is here. But obviously he's not here yet, and so every time I eat or drink something I have a burning pain in my chest, and oh what fun it is. I went to the doctors about it and they pretty much just say just have to have Gaviscon or a Rennie tablet and that's it. And so I've been living off Rennies. I've been popping them like drugs when I need them, obviously not for fun. And yeah, Gaviscon tastes horrible, so I'd rather not have Gaviscon. It hurts. So if you do become pregnant, be warned, you may get heartburn. They do say that the more heartburn you have, the hairier the baby will be, but my cousin had a very bald baby and she had lots of heartburn, so I don't know if that's necessarily true. Also, if it is true, my child will be a wolf with the amount of heartburn that I've had. Anyway, the other thing has been the heat. If you didn't know, last week in London it was 38 degrees and I nearly died, and so I was lying on my sofa, honestly, a fan in my face, just lying there, completely sort of like, ugh. My feet were swollen, I had to have my feet in ice, it was just horrible. The heat is not my friend, I don't like it when I'm not pregnant. So when I am pregnant and your temperature is automatically higher, I don't know why that is. Is it because you have more blood in your body? I don't know. Either way, didn't care for it. It was uncomfortable, it was horrible. I have survived it. I'm now through on the other side. No more heat wave. It's now raining. Great. So yeah, that wasn't much fun. Although I was thinking I would rather have been pregnant in the heat wave than have a newborn in the heat wave, because a newborn in the heat wave sounds like a miserable thing to have to deal with, because obviously you can't just lie on the sofa and pity yourself. You have to look after a baby who's probably very uncomfortable and hot as well. So I am glad I didn't have to deal with that. The baby has a lot of hiccups, and hiccups are something which, first of all, are quite sweet, but after about 5 minutes it is one of the most irritating feelings in the world. It's basically like a twitch that won't stop all the time in your stomach, and it can get to be quite irritating. I have gone to the doctors about it, not doctors, I went to the midwives about it once, just because it happened for over 5 hours, because I went to sleep with it going on, and then I woke up 5 hours later obviously and it was still going on, so I was a bit worried about that, because obviously if I had hiccups for 5 hours I would be worried. So I wanted to make sure the baby was all okay. Everything was fine, it's just one of those things that happened. But yeah, he does have quite a few hiccups episodes. I don't know if that means it'll be the same when they're outside, but currently on the inside, yes, he does have hiccups at least once a day, I would say. It's just apparently it's them practicing breathing. I don't know the science behind it. And as you can see, the other thing I keep getting is kicks in the ribs here, and it hurts sometimes. It does catch you off guard sometimes. Some of the movements now are a bit funny because he is bigger. Obviously the movements that went from just like a small arm feeling inside are now a bit more of a movement, and you think, oh my god, I have a whole human being inside me. That is weird. And so with the kicks, it's a bit more like a douche as opposed to a ling. Another thing is struggling to walk. Again, my due date is technically in 2 days' time. If I was a robot and I was due on the 1st and the baby came on the 1st, because that's how everything worked and it was all very easy and linear like that. Linear, fancy words. He is now pushing down on my pelvis, and so the muscles and the bones there are obviously having to support a weight they've never had to support before. And so walking around sometimes can be quite painful, so I do waddle. Yep, I've got my pregnancy swag, as they say. The walking is something that, it doesn't happen all the time, the waddling and the pain in the pelvis, but it does happen sometimes. It happened yesterday. I was trying to walk, and just walking from the car to a coffee shop, and I was just like, oh, this is painful. Whereas today I've been walking around just fine. So it does vary day to day. And then the other thing, I guess, the final thing, which is a harder thing to deal with, is swelling. As you can see, not this hand, I'm not wearing my wedding ring anymore, simply because I had it on a couple of weeks ago and I couldn't get it off because my fingers are swollen slightly and I get claustrophobic. And I was just like, get off me! And obviously the more you pull at a ring, the more it doesn't come off because your finger gets more swollen. And so I was getting more and more panicked about not being able to get it off. And obviously finally I did, and it was all fine and dandy, but I was like, I'm not putting that ring back on until I'm not as swollen. I can definitely see in my face, I have put on some weight and some swelling. My legs definitely have water retention, they feel a bit more jiggly, and my arms are definitely a bit more jiggly. Again, these are all things that I'm like, it's either swelling or weight gain. Either way, I don't really care. Swelling will go down by itself, and weight gain I don't care about. I did care about it in my first trimester when I first found out I was pregnant. I was worried that I was put on weight and that I wouldn't know how to cope with it. And I'm not, now I'm in that phase where I have put on some weight, I'm actually not that bothered, which is actually really good to know, because I was worried about the weight gain. More so than pretty much anything else, actually, to be honest. I don't know why I was so concerned about gaining weight. But now, I mean, obviously, don't care. On to the best things about the third trimester that I have experienced. Firstly, maternity leave. I am on maternity leave. I am on day 7 of maternity leave. Maternity leave is a funny thought, because obviously if I was on holiday, I would be either, you know, abroad, or I'd be on leave doing something at home thinking, oh man, I've got to go back to work next week. But in this case, it's a really weird one, because you're like, well, I don't know when I'm going back to work. So I'm just sort of reveling in the fact, I'm like, yeah, I'll do stuff when I want to. Although I do need to start tidying better, because I'm not being very good at that. But yeah, being on maternity leave is good fun. I am a fan of having no responsibilities in the work department, which will need to change at some point, because I do need to figure out how I'm going to survive. That's a different story. The nursery is coming along really well. I've bought a fair few things off Facebook Marketplace, and where we live in London, they have like a community sell group on Facebook where people sell things they don't want. I bought a lot of stuff from this Facebook group, and I've saved myself an absolute fortune. But then we have bought brand new, because it was easier just to get it all, from Mama's and Papa's nursery set. That's chest of drawers, wardrobe, cot. And we've set up his room, nearly finished it. And obviously he will be in with us for the first 6 months, but I thought was I'd rather have his room pretty much done. So then when he is ready to go in there, he just goes in there, as opposed to being 4 months in with a newborn going, we need to get a room sorted, oh, we need to buy this stuff, oh, it's expensive, and just not have to faff out with that. So his room is nearly done. It's great. I will be showing you what it is like once it's done. Sean hopefully will get some bookshelves up in the next couple of days, and I will get that filmed and uploaded, because it is a really sweet room. It's very cute. Another good thing is I have actually made quite a few new friends, pregnant friends, who are no longer pregnant now because they've had their babies. I went to an NCT group, which is basically it's a a group you pay to attend these classes. I think there's like 4 classes, but they're like day-long ones with like 8 couples, and you make friends, you learn about pregnancy, and you learn about how birth works and all that sort of stuff. There were 8 couples there, and I think, oh no, there's 9 couples there, and so far 5 of them have had their babies, so there's 4 of us left who are now waiting still. Yeah, but it's been great. We have a WhatsApp group, and it's been nice making new friends who are in the same boat. And then updates wise, so I mentioned this earlier, nesting, which is something I was really looking forward to, hasn't happened, and I'm a bit annoyed because the house is an absolute mess. I mean, no, obviously we had these new wardrobes fitted, and so there's a lot of stuff to do. It's not an absolute mess, it's now just, you know, generally untidy, and I want to tidy up, and I've just got no motivation to do it, and it's so annoying. I'm like, come on, I'm meant to be nesting, I'm meant to be, you know, antibacterial cleaning tins of beans and stuff. I'm meant to be doing like unnecessary cleaning. That's the whole point of nesting. You're meant to clean the stupidest things, and I've not wanted to do it. I've written a list of things I want to clean, but I haven't actually done any of it. I cleaned the kitchen, but I mean, that's barely anything, so I'm a bit disappointed about that, to be honest with you. Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna have to get my arse in gear and just get on with it, but I'm a bit annoyed that I haven't felt like the drive to do it. I thought on maternity leave I'd go mad, but I haven't. I've been watching Orange is the New Black and just sitting down. Good fun. I have finally had my whooping cough injection. I mentioned that in the last trimester vlog, that I couldn't get my whooping cough injection. It was a nightmare to get it, but I finally had it at 36 weeks pregnant, which is not the ideal time frame to have it. You're meant to have it before 32, you're meant to have it between 28 and 32 weeks. But I finally had it done now, so hopefully baby will now be protected enough to from whooping cough infections that are in the area. But that was something that I was not impressed about, but yeah, it's now done, so at least it's sorted. And then I've done my birth plan, and I've packed my birthing bag, and that's exciting. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I had pretty much uneventful pregnancy so far. My due date is technically the 1st of August. So if everything goes as the doctors have said, predicted it will, then I could be having a baby in 2 days. But what I've been taught through various channels of education is that the baby can come between 37 weeks and 42 weeks. And so if you set your mind on one date, so for me the 1st of August, if you set your mind on the 1st of August and the baby doesn't come then you sort of go into a sort of minor panic mode, and that's where the baby could come a lot later because your body's too panicked to give birth, if that makes sense. Something really useful for me and my mentality has been, humans are still animals, and so in the wild an animal doesn't know when they're going to give birth. Something like, for example, farmers will have a flock of sheep, yeah, pregnant sheep, and they can all be impregnated at the same time, same day, but they won't all give birth on the same day because bodies are different. And that's something that's really sort of, you know, resonated with me to a point where I think just because this has happened on this day, or the doctor said this is going to happen on this day, doesn't mean it will. It can happen at any point before or after. Obviously, as I'm 39 weeks and 5 days today, I think we're probably going to go past the 40 week mark, but it's okay. As long as the baby comes at some point and is happy and healthy, I don't care. It would be nice for him not to hang around too long, because I don't particularly want to be induced, because it sounds like a bit of a faff to be induced, but that's life, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you for watching these random updates if you have. Sorry they've been so random. Like I said, I'll show you my bump now, and then yeah, I guess that's it. That's it for the updates on pregnancy. What a wild ride it's been. See you next time. Bye. Tattoo update. It's still stretching. That's the bump there. From the front, I've got no belly button anymore. And from the other side, if that's of any use to you, that's where you can see how it's dropped. See, not much there. Zip.